What's up, YouTube? This is Bystander X79, guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest deck profile video for September 2019, and today we're going to be doing my Nekroz Impcantation deck. Alright, Nekroz has been getting better over the past few months since the last ban list dropped, and sure, it came down to 2, which is awesome. I do believe that when we get the next ban list after October 15th, sure, it's going to be down to 3, which is going to help the deck out even better. The deck is insanely consistent, and even though it is one of the best decks for the Rogue tier, I can tell you right now, I can see it doing things on the competitive scene by the end of the year. Alright? So without further ado, we're going to get right into this. Of course, going to start off with the Nekroz, and we got to turn around and start off with the 2 shirts. We got the second copy this on the last ban list, which is awesome. Okay, Shirt is an insane card. It could take the level requirements for any ritual monster and fulfill the entire level just by itself, which is huge. And it also has another effect where if it's attributed, guess what? You're searching your deck for a ritual warrior Nekroz card. So awesome. Okay. For the Nekroz rituals, we got 2 copies of Klausis. Now, all the Nekroz rituals, they usually have 2 effects on them. The first effect is like a hand trap style effect, and where you just turn on and discard it from the hand and something happens. Alright, and the second one is typically on the field. Alright, so Klaus is hand trap effect. You can discard it from your hand and search your deck for a Nekroz ritual spell or trap card, which is actually pretty awesome. It helps you with the consistency of the deck, getting what you need, so you can get going. While on the field, oh, this is pretty good. It has a quick effect which can turn around and target a monster with special summon from the extra deck, and let's just face it, there's a lot of those in the game today. It can then bottom up that monster's attack and negate that monster's effects for the rest of the turn. Pretty flippin' huge. And just having this guy in the field and using this guy's quick effect at the right time can stun a lot of strategies. Alright. We got the 1 copy of Nekroz Unicorn. Alright. Hand trap effect allows you to get a Nekroz ritual monster from your graveyard back into your hand, which is pretty cool. Alright, and then while it's sitting on the field, any monster special from the extra decks, their effects are negated. Alright. Can help win so many games. Alright. And then, of course, we got 3 copies of Nekroz Brionac. Alright, Brionac. It's quote-unquote hand trap effect. I'm calling it a hand trap because you have to discard things. But you discard Brionac to the graveyard. You can search your deck for another Nekroz ritual monster, which is awesome. While on the field, you can target up to 2 cards that will special summon from the extra deck, and guess what? You're shuffling back into the deck. So, yeah. Great field control. Presence level 6. Very cool to get out. I still like running Nekroz of Gungear in this. It does have more of a hand trap effect where it protects a Nekroz ritual monster from being destroyed by card effect of battle, which is huge. And then as another one where you could turn around and discard any other Nekroz card you have in your hand and basically just destroy any card on the field. It has great spot removal, which is just perfect for getting past some more difficult cards. Alright. Nekroz of Valkyrius. Run 2 copies of him. Alright, his hand trap effect. Basically, you could turn around and banish a Nekroz card from your graveyard, send him to the graveyard, and you basically end your opponent's battle phase. Which is pretty awesome. I mean, it's got like a Battle Fader style effect. On the field, you could, during your main phase, you could tribute up to 2 of the monsters on the field, and you can draw cards equal to the number of cards you tributed, which is also cool, giving you a little bit more consistency in the deck. Alright. Alright. Over here, we got Trish. Alright, Trish has a hand trap effect that prevents your opponent from destroying your monsters with cards or their effects. Pretty damn awesome. Great protection for your monsters. While when it's ritual summon, this is the one thing that I like. It can banish a monster off your opponent's field, out of your opponent's hand, and out of your opponent's graveyard. And the thing about it is that you have to banish a card out of each of those places in order to get the effect. If they don't have a card in the hand or in the graveyard, you're not getting the effect at all. Alright? So it has to be all 3 locations. Alright. For the incantations, we got 2 copies of Pencil Plume. Alright. Pencil Plume can actually get you back the ritual monsters from the graveyard and add to your hand, which is actually pretty awesome. All incantations, when they're can be revealed from their hands. The main deck monsters can be revealed from your hands. The special summon themselves out, and when they do, they bring out another incantation from the deck. And when they do that, the one brought up from the deck has an effect that allows you to get stuff either from the deck into your hand or from the graveyard into your hand. Pencil Plumes from ritual monsters from the graveyard to the hand. We got Candle, when it's special summoned to the field by another incantation effect, you're getting a ritual monster a ritual spell from your hand to your deck. Alright. And from here we got Bookstone. Alright, 2 copies of Bookstone. Get you the ritual spell from the graveyard to the deck. And I can tell you that right now, that effect actually does help a lot on this deck. I know the Nekroz ritual spells do have the ability to get other Nekroz ritual spells out of your deck to your hand by banishing themselves and another card, but in my opinion, those effects on the Nekroz ritual spells are kind of like a last-ditch resort. You want to be able to recur those resources via other effects in this deck, and Bookstone is definitely one of them. The other reason why I love playing this card at 2 is primarily because it's level 5, and level 5 actually does allow you to get into a lot of the other levels for the Nekroz rituals, because once we get into the ritual spells, you'll notice that the ritual spells require exact levels. Alright? And the more ways and free levels that you have to work with, the better off you're going to be. That's why I like running Bookstone. Primarily because of this level. Recursion effect is also pretty good. And Spellcaster, I mean, it's actually pretty decent considering that I've been seeing an uptick in Altergeist being used a lot lately. And Altergeist, one of their key tricks is to utilize Secret Village to shut down spells, and that's lethal to this deck, so yeah. Alright, then we have 2 copies of Incantation Talismandra. Talismandra gets you the ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Okay? Last but not least, I am running 2 copies of Chalice Slime, and oh boy, Chalice Slime is actually pretty cool. Can reveal this card from your hand, discard another card, or discard an incantation card from your hand to your graveyard, and then you can actually special summon an incantation from your deck, which will just trigger that monster's effect, getting you the resource you need. Alright? The other thing about it is you can discard an incantation monster or a card from your hand to the graveyard, and basically target one card on the field and pop it. Which is actually pretty good. More field control is actually huge. If you want to play around and toggle the ratios, you could possibly pump this guy up to 3. I like playing him at 2, typically because you have a lot of other effects in your deck that can help out. And last monster in the deck, and this is your win condition. I'm actually running 3 copies of Vanity's Ruler. Use the other incantations after you've ritual summoned enough to tribute summon this guy out, and when he hits the field, your opponent's not allowed to special summon, period. It's not just out of the extra deck, it's everywhere. And this guy just shuts down the duel for you and wins the duel. So, yeah, definitely 1-3. You 1-3 because you want to see him, and it's actually pretty damn sweet. On to the spells. You guys notice I'm running the Vanity's Ruler and not Zaborg. And in order to get certain cards out of the extra deck into the graveyard, I'm actually running 3 copies of Extra Foolish Burial. Gotta pay you half your life points, but the cost is similar to that of Solemn Judgment, which means the card's going to be live any point in the duel, which is actually very good. We have cards that, when they're sent from the graveyard, or when they're sent to the graveyard, they actually give you recursion effects or allow you extra searches. So that's why you're running this card at 3. Alright, Incantation Inception. Oh man, this is just an awesome generic ritual spell. Oh man, it can be used to ritual summon any ritual monster in your deck, which is just huge. And you don't have to worry about exact level matching. You can either hit the level exactly or go above it, which is just awesome. Okay, and not only that, but this card can actually get itself out of the graveyard back into your hand. All you gotta do is just basically discard an incantation card to the graveyard. Yet you special summon one to the field, and then this card goes back to your hand, and from there you can actually just turn around and go off. All right. 2 copies of Nekroz Cycle. All right. Now we're into the ritual spells again. Like I said, the majority of the ritual spells are going to have you looking for exact levels, and you got to be careful with some of the ritual monsters, especially the higher level Nekroz ritual monsters, because they won't permit you to utilize monsters of the same level. So you're going to have to come up with some pretty slick level combinations to really make it work. Okay. Cycle allows you to ritual summon you from the graveyard or the field, or graveyard or your hand, which is actually pretty damn awesome. Which is great because if you use those Nekroz hand trap effects, yeah, you get them back in the field. 2 copies of Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is also very important to the overall Nekroz build because you can utilize your extra deck monsters as tribute costs for the ritual summonings, and you can actually bring out multiple ritual monsters with one monster. All right. Send to level 12, and you can get 2 level 6s, or a level 8, and a level 4, or a level 9 and level 3. You get the whole idea. Okay. And last but not least, we have the Nekroz Mirror. Nekroz Mirror allows you to utilize monsters as materials from hand, field, or the graveyard to ritual summon from your hand. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the ritual spells. 3 copies of Preparation of the Rites. You gotta run this card in this deck. It allows you to get a level 7 or higher ritual monster out of your deck to your hand and add a ritual spell from your graveyard back to your hand, which, like I said, is important to recycle the Nekroz spells without having to utilize their effects and waste resources. And last but not least, 1 copy of Reinforcement of Army. Klaus and Shuret are all searchable off of this card. It needs to be in here. Alright, so that's it for the main deck. Extra deck. 2 copies are totally awesome. I mean, when it's sent from the extra deck to the graveyard by extra Foolish Barrel, you're getting a Water Tribute monster back from your graveyard to your hand. And that's basically any of the ritual monsters, or even Shuret himself. Alright. 3 copies of Herald the Artlight. Oh man, Herald hits the graveyard, you're getting a search for a ritual spell or a ritual monster. Pretty awesome, if you ask me. Alright, now for some targets here. Like I said, the higher levels from level 7, level 8, and level 9, they all require you to use monsters that are not equal to their own. But level 6 and lowers you can, so just in case you want to bring out Nekroz Brionac, you have the original Brionac in the extra deck to do so. Alright, I also have Omega. Omega is actually pretty fun to have in your graveyard because you can recycle stuff back into your decks. Very fun, very useful. I run 2 10s here, and I'll talk about the reason why I'm running 2 10s. I have the Heart Red Dragon, Archfiend Bane, and Shooting Star Dragon. Both level 10s, again, they're great Kaleidoscope targets. The primary reason why I run 2 level 10s is basically because sometimes I can get Shooting Star Dragon onto the field for an extra body as a 3300 attack point beater, which is awesome, and I'll talk about that combo once we get into some of the Xyz monsters I have. Alright, 2 copies of Star Eater. I mean, it's the level 11. Very good. And I have 2 level 12s here. Okay, the level 12s, I have a Blue Eyes Ultimate, and I got a Shooting Quasar Dragon. To be honest, Quasar is actually pretty flippin' awesome when I show you my next monster. Basically, the level 12s, send level 12 with Kaleidoscope, and you're making a lot of different things happen. Okay, now the first Xyz monster I like is Insector Exa Beetle. This is actually an old school Nekroz play that I still incorporate in my deck. Basically, what you do is you send Quasar to the graveyard off of Kaleidoscope, get 2 Brionics in the field, overlay the Brionics into Insector Exit Beetle. When he hits the field, he'll then attach Quasar to him as an equip, gain half the attack, which is going to push him up to 3,000 attack. Alright? Now, if your opponent happens to turn around and get a little froggy on you and decides to pop Quasar to weaken Insector Beetle, that's going to trip Quasar's effect and allow you to special summon your Shooting Star onto the field for a 3,300 attack point body. Alright? I know it's a bit of an old school play, but it works for me, and I love just running it. Alright? And the last rank 6 that I'm actually running is one copy of number 39 Utopia Beyond. I mean, Beyond any 2 level 6s, this card hits the field, it's bottoming out your opponent's monster's attack to 0, and it's a permanent attack decrease, which means it's going to make it easier for you to swing for game at that point. And in my opinion, it's actually worth running in this deck. Alright? So guys, that is it for my Impcantation Nekroz deck profile for September 2019. Guys, as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss a single upload, and that includes the YouTube notifications. Guys, check out the description box below, find invite link to my Discord server, join the conversation, we would love to have you, and follow me on Twitter at BystanderX79. Guys, as always, until next time, peace.